trading to fight the system is really the result of what I see from my recommendation on YouTube in the trading niche. Because the recommendation I get is obviously the result of what people are looking for. When we look at people showing their lifestyle that is highly materialistic with a bit of touch of egoism, a huge touch of egoism, it's either the lifestyle, which is like Dubai, supercars, money, 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 like life centered around money, around the cage of money, or about the egoism of the setup that you took. The analysis looks very advanced with setups that are usually very high reward, only for feeding your hope and your dream, but that is not really your dream initially, right? And that's what I call the illusion of freedom. We have a tendency to look for something else than our life because we think our life is not worth, and people who have a more materialistic lifestyle, because that's our culture, we think it's better. But instead, it's just an illusion of freedom. For example, if you escape to Bali, to Dubai, or wherever, it doesn't mean you're free. And I'll tell you this in a first-hand experience, not that I've been moving to Bali or Dubai, but if you are going to other countries to find more freedom, you won't find freedom like that. Because freedom is definitely not measured by your tax rate. It's not because you don't pay tax in Dubai that you are more free than someone living in France, Portugal, UK, or whatever paying taxes, because there's so much more to life than taxes. For example, if you start a company or if you start anything, you should really take off your brain of how much tax will it cost me, but instead focus on how much money you can make, right? I think it's totally respectable, and we should respect it, and we should respect each other on thinking that if someone wants to make money in a country with high tax and still continue to live like that, it's actually very respectable. And truly, if you think about it, people who go to a place where there is no tax at all, are they even able to live in a high tax country with making the same money? And this is a real question. So that's why you should not envy them. Of course, you can respect them, and if they do this choice, is fine. But is it really what they wanted deep down? And that's what we don't know, because there is a movement, like everything, there is movement of influences. For example, we saw it during the virus in 2020. We see it in everywhere. In trading, there is also very much this moment of crowd movement influence that comes. We are all prone to that, mostly nowadays in the digital era, through news, through anything we are exposed to. There is this thing of following others than following ourselves. But the real freedom here is through the choice that you will make. And the choice will come actually first from the mental before anything outside in this world. What do you actually want? Many people, and I knew it myself because I lived it. I talked about it with other people I know in the entrepreneurial world. It's not because you are in a place where you are supposed to live better because you have less tax, it's cost less, and you make live maybe you may live like a king in a more poor country, or depending of where you are, will not make you happier because there are other things that comes in line. For example, me, I felt as an expat several times homesick because I realized that what I was escaping, which was the financial government, like I was thinking if I pay less tax, I'll be more happy and I'll get more money for myself and so on. But in the end, I realized quickly that there is so much more to life than this. There is family, there is friends, there is maybe places where you are more attached to, right? Like, I can give you a concrete example. I went for some time in Montenegro, and Montenegro is an amazing country. But the thing is that I was used to and have my habits and my friends and stuff in other places, and as soon as Montenegro feels also difficult to reach other places because I mean, you're far, you're in a small country down Croatia, between Croatia and Albania, for people who don't know, and it's so much more complicated to reach things. Alors, if you're alone, if you're single and young, it's no problem. But if you, like me, have a family, you have kids and stuff, then things are different, right? Also, you realize that kids are really the purity of this world. Like, we start life pure, and they don't care about all the barriers that the system gives us, really the system. And so they have needs that you see are completely pure. And what do they want? Well, my kids naturally, for example, wanted to speak French, and felt a bit apart when it was in a country where we were not being French speaking. So then it came, and then I'm talking about my daughter who is eldest, she wanted to attend things where they could speak her language and stuff like that. So then I really came to the conclusion, well, does this worth me being away from my country or from a country that I am relating to, just for the simple health of my financial situation, when actually, for example, I have my daughter or my wife or whatever, who will feel having something else that will feel better. And that is really where I learned with time that the freedom is not about where you are, is not about the physical and what you have, but it's mentally. Okay? Because we are in this loop of consume, we get fears, for example, of the tax. This is the biggest thing. Why I'm talking about this is because in trading, it's one of the subjects that is mostly common. Like, many people want to escape, quote unquote, the rat race because they want to not pay tax for a country they don't agree with, and so on. So then they are driven by the fear. They want to perform again, to then consume again, to feel better. And there is this loop over and over and over again. The thing is that if you're not happy with your country, you really have to understand that each country has their problem. And it will not, maybe you will not feel as primarily concerned about their problems because you're not from there, but you're still in a very sensitive position. For example, we call about, like, if you are in Bali, in Dubai, as long as you are there at the beginning and you're not either a citizen or a permanent resident, you'll always be sensitive. You'll always be the guy from abroad. And if something happens, you won't be the priority, no matter if you have a lot of money or whatever. Now we have more and more stories of people in Dubai where they could get kicked out no matter what if you don't apply, or if you are not maybe in a very good relationship with someone who is local. So this is not freedom. Also, the thing is like, when we focus on the money, when we focus really about just like the possessions again and again and again, you are not escaping the rat race. You are just moving from one rat race to another. I'm thinking this, a lot of people in crypto are like this also, where it's all about the crypto, the money. But then they come from maybe a space where they had a job that was a 9 to 5 and get a little bit of money, to a better situation, but still digital, still in front of a screen all the time, still looking and obsessing about something and get more money, but then it's just an obsession out of another one, right? Trading should be a weapon to reclaim your time. And time is the freedom. It's really like this. The freedom is measured of your lifestyle and your value. And you can reach this very quickly. Very, very quickly. It's just a matter of choice. For example, it's a talk I have with friends that I have. I am from the capital of France, of Paris, and I used to be very career focused. I did pretty well, and I was in an environment where we were defining success not only on the money, but money was important, but also of what we were doing and how we will present things, right? I did decide to break off free of all that because I thought something was missing, and I decided to live in nature. And literally, for many, many people, mostly in my environment from Paris, they think I'm living off. I just see that I made a little typo here. And the thing is that if I knew this before, I would have done this from the beginning, and I would have been free much earlier, because I realized that living in a place where it's countryside, it's nature, it's beautiful, you have space, you can breathe, you can grow your things, you can do anything you want, because technically to have more space is more freedom. Living in Dubai, Tokyo, or whatever, where you just want to live, I think for traveling it's great, but to live every day and have an apartment, and then the only things that are for you available are actually just entertainment, it's not freedom, it's actually just being a slave to the rat race 2.0, which is like really the digital illusion of entertainment. That's what I think. I think really when people think 9 to 5 is a rat race, I think the next rat race is really our screens and us living completely in entertainment. And I think when we see those big capitals like Dubai, Tokyo, there will be others, but New York, where it's highly populated and you have buildings everywhere, and just that freedom is not here, because you just claim a little space of it to live this dream, where actually when you are in countryside, and no matter where in the world, you have so much space that is offered to you that you can be a creator. Than in a city, you are a fish that is trying to be a better fish or a more beautiful fish out of things that has been already created. But nature is offering to you, and it's super powerful, and you can do anything you want. And you can give also the space to your kids, if you have kids, to be really expanding their mind, and therefore making, like, not being in the illusion of freedom, but actually making freedom a reality. And freedom, again, for your kids, for example, will be the free way of thinking, of exploring themselves, expressing themselves. And you should too, So why I say that you could do this from one day to another is because really you could live below your means by living simpler, with simplicity, and already afford more time in your life. Because time in your screen is always time that has been taken from you, from your life that you want to live here. And life goes quick. I mean, we know that, and I'm pretty sure you like this. I mean, I'm 35, right? Soon. When I was young, when you're teenage, you always laugh of these elder people who say, like, enjoy your life, right? Because it goes quick. But I mean, already at 35, I see how quick it goes, because I'm witnessing something that is chronologically go very quick, which are my kids, like how quick they are growing. And I decided to do them young because I wanted to be with them as much as I can, and also be more free as young as possible, because when they will be adults, well, I will barely be 50, and then I'll be already free, and that's the great value of that. But living below your means also allows you to have less, less demand about what you will want, and let more space to you as a creator. Okay, I think this is what really miss, is that we give ourselves so much things to think about and to consume that we don't really think of what to do next, of what could be important in our real life, And there are simple things that are really underrated. That could be gardening, walking, playing, many things that you could do that could make your life and your health better, your mental health better, your freedom much, much better. And everything will be better by its own, right? And if you just want more, you'll just be the slave of the more. And for me, you see, for the fact that I'm also homeschooling my kids, for example, that my kids are here every day and we are doing different things. We are doing different activities in days where all the kids are in school or where all the people that are around working in their 9 to 5 or their job or whatever. It's a huge freedom. Do I pay less tax than them? Nope. I pay even more. But at least I have time. And the fear of maybe if you will get, because I mean, as an entrepreneur, you will get the fear of that. The fear of like, how will I make it? How will I pay my tax and all? So I'm not at this place here now, but I had it for many years. Well, it's worth everything. It's nothing because it's so material. It's nothing compared to not having your time. Time is really the freedom that you can get. So use trading as your weapon, like I said, for reclaiming your time. And how you do this? Through simplicity. If you find a simple strategy, it's very important, and then you document. Document heavily. So I talk about it in my videos. But otherwise, simple. Go on the chart, look at your patterns over time, look at it like for a year, for 2 years, build data, and then once you did the documentation through that, you take only the wins, because you don't care of the losses until you backtest. And when you backtest, you see if you are good at executing the plan that you were looking for, a simple pattern, and see if it comes over and over again. And then that's all. You just need to do that. You could take a small account and make money out of this. I'm proving this with a trading copier that I'm doing. Today was a loss, but shit happens. But so far, I think we withdrew from the initial account 30% of the initial account, which, in 2 months, I think we started 2 months ago, the trading copier, or less than 2 months ago, I think 1 month and a half, something like this. To already withdraw 30% is insane for comparatively to many traders. It's through documentation. There's no secret. There's no psychological secret. It's through documentation. Okay, documentation and data until my brain understands it, and then we automated it, and then we're good, right? So these things are 2 keys to then get really having the weapon to fight the system, right? You need to be unavailable to the system. So it's a very powerful sentence for me that I think you should think about, okay? So all this, 0% tax haven, Lamborghinis or whatever, it's not freedom. It's really not freedom. You can pay them, you can get them, but do it for the right thing. Don't do it because others do it. Try to really evaluate if your wish comes from something you've watched, something you got influence for, or if it comes really from you. And then if everything comes from you, then everything is priceless for you. And it can be material too. Don't get me wrong. I don't say like live naked and so on. Do whatever you want. But if you look for simplicity and living below your means, this is freedom, this is wealth. And the system will not like it. It will definitely not like it that you are outside of the box. But you don't care because that's freedom. And that's all you need to know.